What is going on, Cowboys Nation? We are back with another film session. This is part 2 of the Quinnen Williams series. And today we're not just showing his production, we're breaking down why he's a force multiplier for everybody on the defensive line. Ever since week 11, the moment he landed in Dallas, this entire unit has flipped a switch. In just 3 games, the Cowboys defensive front has combined for 45 pressures, 5 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 30 hurries. That's absolute domination, and it all starts with Quinnen Williams. You can see the energy he brought to guys like Osa and how his presence unlocks the whole front. So let's take a closer look on film and break down exactly what Quinnen is doing on the field and why it's helping everybody eat in the gridiron. So on this play here, just like I showed y'all in the last Quinnen Williams video, make sure y'all watch that if y'all haven't seen it because I just dropped it. But he proves again that he can handicap a blocker by attacking the inside shoulder. The film doesn't lie. He lines up at the 3 technique, fires off with that first step, slips right through the guard's inside shoulder, and shuts down Saquon in the backfield before the play even develops. Teams can try to single block him if they want to, but they're going to keep getting punished exactly like this. So let's spin it. So running this play here, you see he's storming off the ball on the inside, just getting leverage quickly and digging in that inside shoulder. And the thing is with him, he has shown this so much on film already. If you allow him to be able to put that weight on that shoulder, regardless if it's tackles, centers, or guards, he will find ways to be able to gain leverage quickly. So he was able to contort his body, square up, and get his hands on Saquon Barkley. And these are the things that you love to see when it comes down to that defensive tackle position. Interior penetration is the hardest thing to get around. When you have a player that has the ability to reestablish the line of scrimmage, he can beat the inside shoulder, he can beat the outside shoulder, splitting double teams. Literally, there is nothing that this player can't do on the field when it comes down to that defensive line. And that was our problem in the beginning of this season. On first and second down, you had a lot of these runners getting chunk yards. But if you can have these teams playing behind the sticks, allow guys like Easy, Jadeveon Clowney, and Dante Fowler to pin their ears back and get after the passer, it will bring the best out of these guys. And usually when you do have a quick defensive tackle right at the snap of the ball, it's going to be hard for these offensive linemen to get their feet set. Just like in this clip here where he was shuffling his feet, he could not get set. So quickness and power will do that to you, and that is what Quinnen Williams is bringing. And this is exactly why they say that he's a true force multiplier. When he wins this fast, it doesn't just create a tackle for loss, it throws off timing and the entire structure of the offense. Here's another rep where Quinnen attacks the inside shoulder again on the opposite side of the ball against the guard. He leans all his way through the guard's strike point, wins leverage instantly, and drives him straight back. And with this backfield penetration right here, it collapsed the A-gap and forces the quarterback to speed up his read and get the ball out early. So let's split it. So locking on this play here, he's firing off the ball yet again. That offensive lineman did take a step to the left, which was a mistake. But as you can see here, he attacks that inside shoulder and he's fighting it out. The good thing about this player, he never gives up on a play. Leaning his weight inside, and him and Osa were able to get pressure on the quarterback again. And this is what we've been missing when it comes down to this defense. Sometimes when you're playing on that defensive line, when you have a stout player like that and he knows that he's going to take time from players, it's going to bring the best out of them. That's why we always say the NFL is not for long. You do not want any of these guys getting comfortable. You have to continue to keep bringing in talent at all positions, even the quarterback, just so they know in the back of their head, if they're loafing out there, you could be replaced. This is the same thing that they did in the 90s. They continued to keep stacking that defensive line. That's why that defense was so good back then. But to see him with the ability to be able to rush on both sides of the ball, attacking that outside shoulder, the inside shoulder, fighting it out, and just showing that aggression is great to see by the young defensive tackle. Single block him if you want to. This right here is the result. And here's another quick one. We have to continue to keep showing what this player is actually doing in slow motion just to get an idea of his behavior on these plays at the snap of the ball. But Quinnen leans his weight on the tackle's outside shoulder again, wins that leverage, and closes in on the quarterback instantly. And real quick though, just watching this small sample over the last 3 games, he's battling everybody. Centers, guards, and both tackles. offenses know one way or another, somebody's going to have to deal with him. That's why teams come in shook and try to double team him much as possible. So let's turn the page. So locking on this play here, you see he's attacking that left tackle straight up, digging at that outside shoulder and stretching those arms. But just seeing the energy when it comes down to him, whatever it takes to get to that quarterback. Now, I'm not sure how long his arms are, but just seeing that effort and closing speed, trying to reach the quarterback, that is enough for the quarterback to make a quick business decision. So the quarterback tries to throw the ball to the sideline, and it was completely off. And that's why I always tell people that when it comes down to that defensive tackle position, a lot of these times they are space eaters. You don't always see it in the stat sheets, but real football guys, they know the impact that this kind of player brings. And thinking about a guy like Matt Eberflus, back when he was running the defense for the Colts, he had DeForest Buckner in that interior, and that's part of the reason why they were so effective at that time. That's why I say that it takes time when it comes down to bringing in a whole new defense, a whole new coaching staff. You have to build this inside out. If you do not get that interior pressure, a lot of these defensive schemes will look confused and they will look mid out there. And this is part of the reason why I've been really patient with Matt Eberflus. A lot of things that he does need to clean up, but in these past 3 games with Quinnen Williams and everybody that we're getting back healthy, it has been a solid start. But to see a player that's not giving up on plays, Cowboys Nation, he's playing with anchor strength, solid counter moves, he's winning with technique, disrupting timing. This is how you can be able to take that next step when games really matter. So on this play, he's lined up at the 3 tech, way outside the center's reach. The Eagles' game plan is bad here. The whole offensive line shade left, and the center tries to work to the right to him. But it confuses me because teams should know that Quinnen is too quick off the ball. As soon as the center snapped the ball, it was too late. He was already in the backfield. He gets a hand on Saquon, resets the whole run, and that's all Clowney needed to come in for the cleanup. This play starts and ends with Quinnen Williams. So we go ahead and run it. So locking on this play here, you see the center, he snaps the ball and tries to get directly to Quinnen Williams. But you see with that first step of his, it is so explosive. And the big reason behind that is because he's in his old stance when he played for White Cotton back when he was being coached by him. But you can see that he got his right arm on Saquon and it forced him to think quickly. But that was enough time for Jadeveon Clowney to close in on the backside and make a play. And this is football 101. It's the little things when it comes down to a lot of these plays. If you're going to be lining up against them and one player makes a mistake, you can be a solid group as far as the offensive line, but all it takes is one weak link, and that can be the determining factor on some of these plays. But what we have been seeing in these past 3 games, not only has it been better production from Osa and Kenny Clark, but Jadeveon Clowney is making plays. He absolutely went off against the Chiefs. Donovan Ezeraku is stepping up. We already know the kind of impact that Overshown could do on the field. It's going to take some time with him because he's trying to get that confidence back from that injury. We're building it up, and by every game that's going by, I am feeling that much more confident in this unit. But to see Quinnen disrupt and get into the backfield is simply amazing. And it's hard to be able to find that as far as the defensive tackle position. There's only a few guys in the league that can be able to move like this and break down these plays so quickly. But one step from Quinnen Williams can flip an entire run concept on his head, and this play shows that. Here's a play right here is a perfect example why Quinnen Williams is a force multiplier. His presence alone pulls extra attention inside, and because of that, Osa and Dante Fowler both get true one-on-ones. And when those two get single blocks, film has shown in the past that they can win. Both of them collapse the pocket and create pressure, all because of the offense is worried about Quinnen. And we'll keep on putting the press kit on this. His impact does not show up on just the stat sheet, but it shows up everywhere on the field. So let's rock with it. So running this play here, just watch the body movement when it comes down to Williams. You see that he's trying to slash inside. Love to see the battles when it comes down to this player. He does not care who's on the offensive line. But as you can see by those double teams, Osa and Dante Fowler were singled up and they were both able to generate pressure, blow him off his spot for the incomplete pass. And if Deron Bland did not slip right there, that would have ended up being another pick 6. We know what he does when he gets that opportunity. But this is why they have been saying that this guy is a force multiplier. The film never lies. Those double team blocks, Osa, you have to step up. Dante Fowler, step up. Jadeveon Clowney, step up, because you will have the opportunity when you have a guy in the interior just like this. So this was awesome to see as far as this defensive line. Everybody working together. Is not going to just come down to just him. There is no I in team. You got to be on the same page. And I mentioned in the first video of him, in your first 3 games to have 21 pressures. In the last 8 games where he played for the New York Jets, he had 19 pressures. But this just shows that when you go to a winning organization, sometimes change is good. This is the real Quinnen Williams that you're seeing right now, and it's showing up on tape. But as far as what I'm seeing right now, you can double him, you can slide to him, you can game plan for him, but you are not stopping the ripple effect that he brings to this defense. Here's another quick play of him drawing a double team, and Osa is standing his ground, keeping leverage, and was able to make an easy tackle. So running this play here, you see that tackle and that center, they both clash with him. But with Osa, he was able to stretch those long arms, keep that leverage, disengage, and get straight to Saquon. And zooming in on those long arms, we know the kind of player that we're getting when it comes down to Osa. Having that wreck in him is everything when it comes down to the defensive line. And one thing I do know about Osa, he embraces competition. Having Quinnen Williams, knowing what he has done in his past, the alpha dog in him, just by Osa thinking that he might be digging into his playtime, is going to light a fire when it comes to him. And Osa was a wrestler back in the day. I've talked about that in the past with the whole leverage thing. He has that fight in him, so that Quinnen Williams addition should bring him to new heights. But as far as him being a force multiplier, with these double teams on him and giving players like Osa an opportunity to be able to stop the run, pressure the quarterback, has an opportunity to be special. But it's up to them to go out there and put in that work. There are no excuses when it comes down to these Dallas Cowboys. So on this final rep here, the film gives you another clear example of why he's a force and why he creates more opportunities for the entire defensive line. Quinnen draws another double team, pulls bodies towards him, and gives Osa the matchup he wants. Osa battles through the offensive line, drops his hips, wins the leverage, and closing in for the sack in the most pivotal moment of the game to seal the win. This is why you want interior dominance, Cowboys family. It changes everything. So we go ahead and run it. Okay, so running this play here, you see that they're battling it out with Quinnen Williams, keeping the center and guard busy, with Osa and Ezraku singled up again. So you see Osa, he's stretching those long arms, keeping leverage, and dips it low. A lot of these times when you're playing the defensive tackle position or the defensive end position, sometimes one sudden move could be the biggest difference. So it was enough time for him to close in and seal this win, Cowboys Nation. I love to be able to see it. You can see that this guy is hype, just like everybody else on that defensive line, the linebacker position, and it starts off with the presence of a guy like Quinnen Williams, because when you do have that solid interior, you can really see who you have in all of these other players. And like I said, I've always loved Micah Parsons and what he did for this defense. It's not always about having the best pass rusher, but real teams build this inside and out. I got a lot of film to do on Quinnen Williams. I might end up doing the Chiefs video, I'm not sure. I kind of want to get to the offensive line, but it's really exciting to see what this player has done. So great start of these first 3 games for him. So it's going to be good to see how this all plays out this season. This team is going to have to lock in. We have Detroit coming up. We know that they have a lot of problems in their interior of the offensive line. So I will be looking if Quinnen Williams, Osa, Kenny Clark, will they build off of these games? Momentum is everything in the game of football. If this team can be able to continue hot like this, if they get in the playoffs, they have the dominant players to send a lot of these teams home. But one game at a time, and we'll see how this all plays out. But comment below and let me know what you guys think about Quinnen Williams' start and who else do y'all want to see me break down just like this video. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire updates and the best Cowboys film sessions on YouTube. All right, Cowboys family, talk to y'all soon. Gone.